Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, and tonight is a very exciting episode as we have some very special guests here with us. We have John Fairchild with Fairchild Automotive Solutions, Sean Kingery, VP of Fixed Operations at Kaiser Automotive Group, and Robert Wooden, owner of Fixed Ops Digital. Thank you guys so much for being here. Fixed Operations Intelligence, actually.
You got it. Thanks, Vanessa.
But the intelligence is digital, Robert, right? So
yes. Isn't all intelligence digital now, right?
Yeah. All right. So and we're live tonight, right, Vanessa?
We are. I can see some comments rolling in. Hello, Trevor Shannon.
All right. Good evening. It is hard to believe, Sean and John and Robert, that we are less than a week away from the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's next week. It starts on Monday, and we're looking forward to that. Sean Kingery is going to have an announcement here in just a moment, but the event starts on Monday morning, and it's going to go right through the entire week, starting at 9 o'clock on May 12th. And we've got 177 speakers, 51 panels, 4 keynotes. It's quite an event. And in fact, as many of the folks here tonight know, we kind of ran out of room and ran out of space. So, Sean, why don't you give us the big announcement tonight?
So, for the last 2.5 years, Ted and I have an ongoing joke, and we use it very, very, very readily about every day, that Ted should go to day 5. And he always says, there's no day 5. And if you ever know with The Godfather, when he gets a little short, we'll say, it's like, there's never going to be a day 5. Well, guess what? Now there's a day 5, baby.
Day 5, yep.
Day 5.
So exciting.
Vanessa just found out tonight.
Persistence paid off. There will be a day 5.
Yes. So we will be back for the 5th day next week on Friday, the 16th, starting at 9 a.m. And we have a very exciting bonus segment or segments featuring Capital One with a brand new product. And that'll be debuted here on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And it has to do with security and fraud at the dealerships. And it affects both variable and fixed operations. So Capital One with a brand new product. And that'll be, Sean, that'll be our 5th day next week. So you got your wish there, Sean.
Thank you, Godfather. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Linda Hanson, welcome. Good evening tonight. Good to see you out in Ohio. All right. So John Fairchild, set the stage here for Robert Wooden and tell us a little bit of the backstory.
Yeah, we were just talking. Robert and I have known each other and been associates for probably 15 plus years. And I ran into Robert years and years ago at a mutual client's, and we hit it off right away. And I think that there has been an extreme need for business intelligence in the fixed ops. Good evening, Kathy Kingery. In the fixed ops community. And, like we were talking about before, the DMS has got a real good handle on actually creating the data or housing the data, but to be able to regurgitate it in a digestible format is something that any DMS that we've got out there, even the most current ones and the CRMs that are out there, are really not good at doing. And a lot of my focus, as you know, Ted, has been, I'm data driven. You may feel something in your gut about what's happening in your store or what have you, but until you look at the data, you really don't know exactly what is happening. And for me, it's been such a struggle, with the human input and human error part of it, to be able to not get caught into the paralysis by analysis realm. And, when Robert introduced Fixed Ops Intel to me last year, I really struck a chord with me because, as you know, I'm a big dashboard and scoreboard guy. And, we've worked together for the last 6-7 months to really create something that he's created, but that is dialed into where, as a manager and as a team member in your store, you can readily see where you're at against your goal. So you can look at it, and it doesn't take that paralysis by analysis to tell where you're at. And if you're in the green or if you're not in the green, right? And do you have opportunity there? But in addition to that, both of us have been in the realm of warranty uplift. And I can say that with him in the room because he's actually trademarked that term, warranty uplift, Sean. He's got the trademark on that. And we've got the trademark because I'm actually a reseller of Fixed Ops Intel, but I'm proud to be. And it does those two things. So for me, when I'm processing a warranty uplift, what Fixed Ops Intel is able to do is to be able to really dial in what that algorithm and the AI that's involved, to be able to dial in exactly what is the best sequence of repair orders to be able to submit to the manufacturer. And in addition to that, what it also does is it allows us to be able to, because we got a direct feed from the DMS, is to be able to reproduce the actual physical repair orders without having to extract them from the DMS. So as you can see, as you can hear in my voice, I'm super excited about it. I've got a number of stores that I've got initiated in it, and I'm telling you what, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, and I appreciate that, John. So everything that he said and John has been and Sean as well have been instrumental as we built this system out over the last couple of years. And the question that we always get is, what is Fixed Ops Intelligence, right? What is it? And the name really says it all. We're focused on fixed operations. And, I always say intelligence comes from having access to relevant information. And as John has already said, and as most people know, all the DMS companies are great at collecting and warehousing that data, but it's usually very, very difficult to get that information out of the systems in any kind of usable format, at least for most managers. Managers are busy. They don't have time to, spend trying to scrape this stuff out of their system. So, that's part of why we started doing this. Really, the genesis for fixed operations intelligence, or what we call Fixed Ops Intel for short, as John had said, I started doing warranty uplifts in 1997. So this is our 28th year of doing it, and wow. As our customer base continued to grow, we got frustrated with the things that were slowing down the process. So we wanted to, I wanted to create something that made the process easier for us and our customers. And that's really the idea behind Fixed Operations Intelligence. So I came at it from a warranty standpoint, and but understanding that all the data that we were collecting to do the warranty uplifts was also stuff that managers need and can use in everyday business to improve process and improve profits.
Robert, you have to be one of the first people out there having done that, because 1997, that goes way back.
Yeah, it's a long story. You probably don't have enough time this evening, but yes, that was, we were one of the first ones way back then that challenged one of the manufacturers who will remain nameless. And we won, and, it just started organically growing. Friends would reach out, and then it just became a business that is a huge part of what we do every day. So that's the beginning of Fixed Ops Intel.
And you know what? All the focus on intelligence has been on the front end, on the variable side, on the F&I side, products that they sell. But really, the heartbeat of the dealership, as everyone here tonight knows, is in fixed ops and service and parts. So, Robert, congratulations to you on doing that. And, like Linda says, warranty is so important, especially, those recalls are not going away. The car gets more complicated as we go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, years ago, and when I first started out as a technician, too many years ago, recalls were taboo. It was unheard of to have a recall. Literally somebody had to die before a manufacturer would recall a vehicle. Today, they recall them for everything. And, my view of that, and I think this is valid, is that the manufacturers understand that recalls drive traffic into the dealerships, both in the service department and up front. So, and it's a very effective advertising tool, really.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Considering, like Tully says, Vanessa, repeat and referral business and the cost of that, the recall does all that and more.
Absolutely. And so, Robert, my question for you is, so there's other reporting systems out there, right? But what makes Fixed Ops Intel different? What functions does it serve for dealers that is different than the other systems that are out there?
Yeah, what makes us different, Vanessa, is we make it very simple, right? You don't need to know how to build reports or manipulate data. We're giving managers all the reports that they need without overwhelming them, right? And what we always say is simple, accurate. Simple doesn't mean that it's not powerful. You can still slice and drill down to the individual invoices, right down to the part numbers, if you want to, but most managers don't want to sift through the mountains of data that's available to them. Like John had said earlier, we're giving them the information literally at a glance. They can see everything on the very first page that I would want to see as a manager. And if it's green, I'm meeting my goal. If it's red, I'm not meeting my goal, and I can start to drill in and find out what's driving that number and why I'm not making where I want to be. We call, relevant reporting. And I'll give you two examples. Many of the reporting systems and DMS systems will give you an effective labor rate number. We do that also. But we also have what we call warranty effective labor rate report that strips out all of the non-qualifying repairs and parts that we know are not going to qualify. So we're actually giving you a real number, not an inflated, overinflated or an underreported number. We're giving you an actual number that you could qualify for in a rate increase. And again, another example is what we talked about before, is the metrics report that a manager can just look and instantly see if they're meeting their goals or not. So, and it gives that manager the intelligence to make the decisions and not guess or hope for results.
Absolutely. That's incredible. And what dealer management systems does Fixed Ops Intel currently integrate with?
Yeah, so we currently have, the big four. You got CDK, Reynolds, DealerTrack, and Techion.
Awesome.
And we started with those four because, of course, that's going to cover the majority of dealerships in North America. And, we are looking at other ones as the demand comes.
Wow. Okay.
That is
And
so awesome, Robert.
You're coast to coast, all U.S.
Yep. Yeah. U.S. We also can do Canada as well. So we have some interest from some groups in Canada right now that I think is going to come across. So yeah, we're excited to be there. And I've worked north of the border with our friends up there, and really enjoy that. I don't like Saskatchewan in January, but certainly the rest of the country is beautiful.
Sean, you're near that north of the border.
I knew it was coming. I figured it was coming sooner or later. So I stayed quiet for like 16 minutes. That was tough. So I'm gonna interrupt here and jump on Robert's game here, guys. For those that don't understand what Fixed Ops Intel is, it takes your 3606, your 3618, your RAP, your RADS report, your tech productivity report, your RTH reports. It takes all that information, no matter what DMS you're on, and it puts it in one place. It's doing what the DMS, quite frankly, doesn't do a good job at. And I don't know how else to say that other than just to say that. It puts it at the fingertips. You can send it to your guys on a weekly basis, an hourly basis, a daily basis, whatever the case is. But it tells them where they're at. It tells you the RTH report, where your tech hours are. It shows that, as John said, John and I spoke at NADA together a year and a half ago, whatever it was. And someone made a comment, because I demand 20% growth year over year. Well, how do you maintain 20%? It's because everybody's got to know their numbers. You have to know where you are and where you stand. And you have to know what it took to get there and where you're at on a daily basis. And this tool gives you a fingertip access to do it. It's live, it's current. You're not waiting for the job stack to run. You're not waiting for the controller to do an update. You know where you are. And again, Robert can answer how often it updates throughout the day. But I know when I'm running it at 6 o'clock, I know where my numbers are. I just know.
Wow.
I wait till 9 o'clock in the morning until parts has their chance for adjustments and such. But guys, it is what it is. And then, we talked a little bit about uplift and warranty uplift. I can't stress enough. Those that know I brag a lot and totally gets mad at me. Wisconsin has some pretty liberal laws. And we found out the hard way that they can go both ways, obviously. But we now have stores that are over $300 a warranty hour, guys. Unheard of in the car business. $300 for you talk about recalls. Sign me up. I'll take them all. I mean, every 2/10 at $300 an hour pays a lot of bills. It also lets you pay the tech extra on warranty. And again, I'll get off my soapbox here in a second. You look at Honda and Kia paying 5 hours to R&I an engine that's been sitting in the weeds for 10 years. It's not real time anymore. This warranty uplift, there's a price for it, but there's a reason for it too. And what this does is, and again, I'm going to compare real quick to The Price is Right, that little guy that used to climb the mountain and you'd stop it when it was in a range. And that's what this tool does. It tells you when your ROs are optimal to file for a claim. Oh. It does the work for you, just to be very honest with you. And I have no investment in it. We use the tool. John and I use it when I say on a daily basis. Our scoreboards that are posted in every one of our shops live off of this tool.
Wow. Robert, that's fantastic. That's a great visual. And, I don't know of anything else like that.
Yeah, no. And Sean, like I said, I appreciate the feedback. And, I was in fixed ops myself for a long time. But I'm always looking for feedback from, very intelligent people who know what's happening. And certainly John and Sean and others have had their hand in helping us develop it. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes some time. And it's an ongoing process. It's never going to end. And
for a plug for Robert, guys, I'm going to tell you, the tool as it sits today isn't the same tool it was 6 months ago. John and I have had many a conference call with Robert. I mean, many calls where we say, we got to tweak this, we got to tweak this. And we're on 2 different DMSs. Thank God we're finally going to one in August. But, he adapted it. Again, I get nothing out of this other than that we show growth because we can now give our managers the access to the tools to know where their business runs.
Yeah, Robert, it seems. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and Sean's point with having, multiple DMSs, that happens, especially when you start getting into some dealer groups or larger dealer groups. They may acquire a store or two that's on a different one. And it's what we call normalizing the data, right? I don't care if it comes from DealerTrack or CDK. The numbers are the numbers. So we're just going to serve that up so that you can compare apples to apples. So if you've got a Chevy store on DealerTrack and a Ford store on CDK, the numbers are what they are.
Sean, is that what happened in newer stores that were acquisitions, had other DMSs? Is that how that came about?
Yeah, that's what happened. When I was in Florida, when we purchased stores, and we like buying AutoNation stores for some reason, they were on CDK, and we always switched to DealerTrack. Here, the Baxters did it when they bought a store. They left it on whatever DMS they were on, and it took some coaching and some prying, kind of like day 5 again, where you complain enough. Eventually, you get day 5, you get one DMS. And again, in August, we're going to finally go to one DMS, which, by the way, to Robert's point, a 3606 report or a RADS report, and they're not the same report. You think you're looking at the same information, you're not. It's not apples to apples.
Right.
Because each DMS is different, of course.
It is different, and they're different for a lot of reasons. That's why the statements are different. That's why, parts pick up on one statement has it and it doesn't. And that's why, you almost got to be a genius, but it's tough to take 8 stores and compare them against each other when you know the data is really not correct.
But Robert, take John Fairchild as an example. He comes into dealerships. He works for dealerships. I would imagine one of the first things he does after he finds out who the DMS is he pulls a RAP report. Or that's one of the first things he's looking at. Okay, or if it's a Reynolds store, their equivalent of that. So that's important data.
Yeah, it is really important data. And, when we were designing fixed ops, I understood that, again, originally the genesis was we were going to use it selfishly for our clients, but I knew, being a consultant myself, that there's other professionals out there like John and others that could use that tool to make their practice better. And there might be other managers in a store that would benefit from the tool, but maybe want to do it themselves. And we actually have that available. So within Fixed Ops Intel, if they subscribe to the software and they say, "Hey, I want to do it myself, but I want to use the tool," they could do that as well. So we made it very widely adaptable to everybody from corporate fixed op directors that are looking over hundreds of stores, right down to individual technicians if they want to see their performance, or an advisor or a store manager. So we made it pretty adaptable, I think.
And Robert, it seems like in the last 2 years, more stores have become adept and familiar with these warranty increases on labor and parts. What prompted that? How did that come about? Is it word of mouth between the dealers at 20 groups? Because you hear that like as commonplace now, where a couple of years ago, not so much.
Yeah, all those things. 20 groups are a big driver of that. Managers will hear of it, and they'll start to maybe Google or look around or talk to peers. And, a lot of, to be honest with you, we do very little advertising. All of our clients have grown organically by word of mouth. So we, on a daily basis, get calls from dealers or managers that say, "Hey, I was at a 20 group, I was at a meeting, and I got your information." And so they reached out to us. And we're very thankful for that. And of course, we have professionals like John that are out there beating the bushes and helping their clients. So we look at it as a win-win, right?
Yeah.
We're helping professionals like John help their clients. And I think, and I've always said this even when I was a fixed ops director at the store, is dealerships that are profitable are going to take care of their customers better, have better retention, and that ultimately benefits the manufacturer, right? So, and there's actually manufacturers, they might deny it up front, but on the backside, they're actually telling their dealers to contact us because they know that their dealers that are profitable are going to do a better job. So that's kind of the funny side of that.
So, John, you don't have to be specific if you don't want to, but is this expensive? How do you price it? Do they have to be on this program for a certain period of time, until they achieve ROI? Basically, how does this all work?
No, it's basically a subscription basis, so it's very, very affordable, very cost effective. The ROI is tremendous. And speaking of ROI, as Sean and I have talked about many, many times, is if I can groom my warranty to be able to get a better rate, what I've actually done in most stores, your warranty percentage of your overall total is going to be 18 to 25%. Is that pretty accurate, Robert?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate.
So,
yeah.
But what I've got to do to get my warranty rate optimal is I've got to groom my customer pay rate so that can be achieved. So if you think about that, the greater uplift is really in the customer pay part of the equation, because I've automatically got to get that customer pay ready to be able to get the best warranty rate. So in effect, by doing that, I'm raising all levels at the same time.
Yep.
Vanessa, this could be really helpful. Let's say you were working with dealers in fixed ops in a particular state, okay? And they all have different, franchises and so on, but to have this kind of business intelligence to see where they're at would be invaluable to the dealer operator and to the management too.
Absolutely. And I mean, as Sean said, the company that Fixed Ops Intel is today isn't even, the same as it was 6 months ago. It's rapidly growing and evolving, implementing new processes, updating. And so my next question is, what's on the horizon for you and for the future of Fixed Ops Intel? What's to come?
Yeah, great question. So as everybody knows, software and, this age that we're living in today is rapidly changing. We're thrilled with what we've created so far, but we're certainly not sitting still. AI is the buzzword. Everything is AI. And we currently use AI, as John had alluded to earlier, in the system to help us with the warranty side. But what we're working on right now is we call natural language AI, where a manager can simply ask a question in a normal conversational text with the system and get any report that they want in any format without having to, again, learn how to build reports or dig through mountains of data. And that's really the benefit of AI going forward. So we're really excited about that. We're looking forward to beta test that in the summertime. And I'm sure that John and Sean will participate in there. I'm counting on that. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
I heard summertime, Sean, so that's a good time to be in Madison.
That's about 1 month out of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, summer is the best 2 weeks of the year, right, John?
That's it.
Yeah.
In Rochester too, Robert. So
that is true. I always say the same. Yep.
John, you don't know how good you got it down there in
Hey,
in Atlanta and in Salt Lake. So
well, I've always said that, the roads run north and south. So I'm not sure why so many people live up north if you could just get on the road and drive south, which I decided to do. So
yeah, there's a difference between intelligence and being smart. I might be intelligent, but I'm not smart enough to drive south yet.
Or to sit in traffic for 4 hours.
Yeah, you are. You're always in Florida.
All right. So, Robert, how do we find out more? Is there a website? Where do we go?
Yeah, you can go to fixedopsintel.com, and there's all kinds of information on there. Shows you a little bit about the reports that are there and how to order it. And we're really thankful for you, Ted, and what you guys are doing, and everybody. So thank you for the invite and letting us talk a little bit about Fixed Ops Intel.
I'm thankful for you and for John Fairchild for teeing all this up, John, and Sean, for you to be able to talk about it so freely tonight.
Yeah, of course. And guys, I'm getting one more plug for Robert. Guys, I'll share my information because I'm proud of most of our results. Guys, look at where we were when we enrolled this or when we signed up for it or we started the program 11 months ago versus where we are today. And the solution is scoreboards, and everybody knows where their numbers are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen.
Good stuff.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Robert. It was so nice meeting you and hearing about your incredible solution for the automotive space. And I can't wait to see where the company goes next.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ted, Vanessa.
Yep.
Good to see you, Sean, John.
Vanessa, real quick, what do we have coming up at Northwood in June?
Yeah, so we have our full tank automotive camp coming up June 15th through the 20th. And it is a 5-day residential summer camp for high school students to kind of explore their curiosity in the automotive industry. So during this camp, we have different informational sessions. We go on different excursions to industry giants. We're having Ted and the Fixed Ops Roundtable come on campus that Wednesday, June 18th for a pop-up event. So that'll be super exciting. And yeah, it's just a great opportunity for young students to explore what they potentially want to do for their future career, and then hopefully get them to come to Northwood because Northwood is a automotive focused university. So yeah, it's great for the automotive industries for building the future generation of it. And then as well for Northwood, increasing enrollment and getting more students to come here.
We were there last year, and Sean, once they come up, Northwood's going to close them. So there we go.
Yeah, it's pretty. For those that haven't been there, guys, what an amazing campus. Second to none.
Yep. So great stuff. Everybody, we'll see you back here on Monday at actually at 9:00 a.m. at the big Fixed Ops Roundtable event. So the new Sean, how many days is it?
Day 5. I heard 5. Do I hear 5? Cinco, 5.
5-day event. We haven't even had time to update the graphics. So 5-day event starts Monday at 9:00. Don't miss it. And we'll see you all there. Thanks for coming tonight, everybody.